So this came in the mail and it's all wet. It's raining out, so let me see what we have in here. Fortunately, it's all plastic, so it's not going to bother. Here's a Lionel boxcar, New York, New Haven, and Hartford. I don't think anything's broke on it, so here we go. We're moving in the right direction. Caboose, also built by Lionel, also all plastic. And I'm not seeing anything broken on it, so that's pretty good. What I was looking for was hoppers. I wanted hoppers that had the right road name for me. Okay. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's another Lionel car. Looks like it's okay. Oh, no, it's missing an axle. Let's see if it's in the bag. Yes. So, it's a project. So this is what I was looking for, is these. Made by K-Line, Delaware and Hudson, with a load. Coal hoppers. Let's see how they look. Let me look at the Lionel. I don't know. Can you see much of a difference there? Because I can't. Looks to me like the only difference between the Lionel and the K-Line is the color of the little mushroom to decouple. So that's one that's good. Let's see if we have another good one. There's two. Three. Four. So far, I'm thinking I did pretty good. And I was looking for a tender that didn't have Lionel lines. Ha! Look at that. New York Central. It looks like it's a whistle tender. Don't know if it works, but New York Central whistle. Obviously, post MPC. So, one more. Little locomotive. I'm not sure which one it is. As far as I'm concerned, it came along for the ride. It wasn't what I was buying this for. Oh, look at this. 8632 with a can motor, a die-cast body. All this for $90 delivered from eBay. I think this makes up for the last three disasters. Well, what you have here really is two entry-level locomotives from two different manufacturers. K-Line right here, and it's got those two can motors, one in each truck. And like I said before, this thing pulls real well. The question is for how long. What I did was I got rid of the Santa Fe and put a Baltimore and Ohio shell on it. Same thing, just different shell. Mainly because I wanted to have more of an East Coast flavor to this small layout on the locomotives and the rolling stock. And the ones we just got in eBay, that box car, those hoppers, they may not be scale, they may not be all that realistic, but they do a pretty good job of going around in circles behind the locomotive. And I got all that stuff for $90. Now, some people would say, you would have done better off by spending that same money on a scale or a higher quality product. But sometimes you just want to have train. You're not going to model the stuff totally accurately, so you got to decide what it is you're shooting for. And for me, it's as much just about having stuff run around in circles as being accurate. I don't think I've ever seen a steam locomotive like this one either, with a big old thing up front. But what I can say is this also has a can motor. Think about it for a second. That one's got two. This one's got one. And I can tell you it pulls well. It pulls real hard. This thing looks like it's almost like brand new. It's Lionel, the 8632. This is an entry-level locomotive. And it's got a pretty heavy die-cast shell. It's not the most prototypical looking thing. But what it does do is it goes around in circles, pulls hard, is quiet, and same as this. This one here takes virtually no voltage to make it go like crazy. That one takes a little more, but of course we got more cars. But I guess the first thing is, on the theme of this video, this is like redemption. Both that shell, that was a success. That's what I wanted. It's a nice shape. And this is way above and beyond what I expected. I was looking for the tender and the cars. And like I said early on, the locomotive kind of came along for the ride. But what I found is it's going to get a lot of run time. Sometimes I just want to see things go around in circles. Now, of course, I'll put my universal pusher on there. Take the stress off the thing, right? It really helps. And it's period. But, it handles the tighter radius corners quite well. Doesn't take a lot of amperage either. And I don't know how long it runs. I don't know how reliable these things are over a period of time. The initial impression, though, is for a starter kit for a person just getting into this stuff, or just getting a set for their kids, being reliable in the way that it is right now, where it's pretty predictable. The E-unit works, pulls hard. All that stuff makes getting into the train thing a little easier versus something that's finicky. Both these are entry level, but both of them work very, very well. And I would say, at the possibility of getting some angst, that this is a way, way, way better product for an entry-level locomotive than the Scouts ever were, in terms of what it can do for pulling and just basically the whole package. Quite impressed. Now, this is 1990s era. I believe it's like 93 or 94. Some of the cars are stamped with built in 94. And that's in the same era. So both those can motor drives are from that same 1990s era for the lower cost things. When I first saw these, I was not really impressed. That first K-line switcher along with those Lionel jacked up in the air Alcos. I was like, yeah, that's kind of chintzy. And yeah, they don't have that feel that the vertical can motors have or anything like that, but they just work. Sometimes that's more important than being all scale and all prototypical. Just having it work is just as much fun for me. That's what it's about, and so I'm favorably impressed. This is redemption. And those front wheels on there, I think they are. But see how I can push that whole set of cars back, and the pusher goes right with it. But I don't think I've ever seen. I'm going to go look through the book I have on New York Central locomotives and power throughout history. I don't think I've ever seen one just like that. But you know something? I don't care. You know, if I can pull 10 to 12 cars around reliably, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Oh, there is one more thing that it dawned on me. Because on this one, the E-unit works really reliably. You know, I put a switch in there. The idea was I got this right here where I can back a train in, pick up a car, pull forward, back it in, get another car, pull forward, stuff like that. When you have the E-unit that operates as well as this one does, that entire concept actually is feasible. You know, so for a kid or a guy getting into it, lady, whatever, and they want to do some of the operational things, when you have the consistency in how it operates to be like this one is, it makes that kind of thing more fun. You know, I never checked to see if it has a smoke unit. I don't know if it does or not. I'll go find out online. I'm not going to dump anything down there until I check it out. But I looked for replacement can motors, not that it needs one. They're cheap. So, now, those cars, I don't know. Let's pull the train forward. Check this out. So he wants to go backwards, forwards. So that E-unit works very predictably. Now that box car is okay. It's all plastic. These are plastic, which are not my favorite. I kind of like the older Lionel with the die-cast trucks and stuff. But this is, again, well, let's see what it says. 93. Built in 93. I think it says 93. Yeah. Built in 1993. So it's post MPC. It's obviously entry-level stuff, being plastic like this. It's very, very lightweight. So if I want to start pulling lots and lots and lots of cars to try to get something more realistic on that level, these light little plastic cars from Lionel and from K-Line will fit that bill quite nicely. So let's move along. There we go. Now for these, let's take a look at these. They got a so-called load. They're not black enough, but we can fix that with some paint. And they are also built, this one 1994. And they also have that same style of plastic truck assembly. And it might be a little different. Maybe. Yeah, they're a little different right there. But the way they are stressed in there is the same. The structure in there is the same. But not quite sure. See, I've actually found one of the original Delaware and Hudson hoppers actually on a CSX freight train, and it was like taller and short. So I don't know whether or not these actually replicate well the Delaware and Hudson hoppers at the time. Of course, coal was big during this period of time for Delaware Hudson through the 40s into the 50s. And I'm not sure that they actually replicate that well. But I don't care. Bottom line is it works. So that's what we got. That's what $90 bought on eBay. And like I said before, these things don't have any time on them. Any one of them, they're like brand new. It's almost like the train store that had them just boxed up the stuff that they couldn't sell over the last 20 years and stuck it in a box and put it on eBay. And I was the fortunate one to buy it. There's nothing wrong with any of it. It's all in brand new condition and it all works well. So I'm very, very pleased. Same with this shell. I mentioned that before. And I may end up with a couple more of these little buggers. They're fun. That's it. Let's just run them. In the last video, I was talking about my universal pusher. When I'm going to run a train with a lot of cars for a longer period of time, I'll set that back there to take a little bit of load off the lead locomotive. But I want you to watch something. Everything is off, right? See how I can push and pull that locomotive without it pulling the cars off the track? You know, that's the way I intended it to be, where it adds just a little bit of pressure. But it's not going to pull the cars off around the corners if it happens to shut off, or it's not going to overpower them should the lead locomotive shut off. And I can tell you that the actual voltage drops when I put that on there in terms of what's required to make it go around. The amperage doesn't change enough to matter, but it definitely takes the load off whatever I have for a lead. And the other thing about these is they're quiet. Very impressed. Well, he stopped to let some people out. There's an Amtrak in Syracuse, and then there's a guy coming right here. So it's going to be busy here in a few minutes. Busy day, and I think there's another one about ready to come out too. So gotta get that track 2 cleared.